So in previous videos, I have went over like basic tips, like how to memorize your dreams, like you journal them, you meditate, or yeah, you journal like I will remember my dream, like those kind of basic tips. Even like using crystals, like sleeping with them in your pillow at night, that helps some people. Like malachite is really good for that. I think amethyst can be too, but I'm honestly not an expert on crystals, but I have heard that it can help. And I've also gone over like dream interpretations, some that I have had, and see if it resonated with others, and going over like the meanings of them, certain symbols that popped up, even how to determine people's intentions, hidden intentions through dreams, because like being exposed to like certain energies like in your waking life can seep into your dreams, and even like your environment, like what you maybe left on the TV or what you even watched the night before can also like seep into your dreams. You might like wonder, oh, what? Well, you may not wonder, because you'll be like, oh yeah, obviously that's why I dreamt this. Like zombies, like if you dream about zombies because maybe you watched something with zombies the night before, or you could have left your TV on like while you're asleep and it had that. I've had those kind of dreams where someone was watching something scary close by and I didn't even know. I was like dead asleep, and I just all of a sudden started having like this horrific dream. It would be like people going after each other, like fighting or running away from monsters, and I found out, oh, this person was watching a horror movie. Anyway, so, but today, and you can find my previous videos on YouTube, just in case you're wondering, Berserker Lotus, you can find me on YouTube, or you can find me on Facebook. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but there's a group page that I have. I think it's, yeah, Portal to Dream Discovery. We all like share our dreams on there. Some of us will interpret dreams. Sometimes we like that kind of feedback to just discover more about them, more meanings within them. But yeah, today, and this does relate to a dream I had, but I'm sharing because like in case others have something similar, it can relate. But it is about like how spirits, and not like ghosts. Yes, ghosts can communicate with you in dreams too. I will get to that one. I'm surprised I haven't got to that one yet, because that's one of my favorite topics. Anything related to the supernatural, paranormal, anything like that. But that's not going to be today. Spirits as in like nature. So some of us, we believe that there are spirits in trees, bugs, plant life, and that they all have like a way of communicating with each other through their, it's probably not the right word because I'm not an expert biologist, what would you call it? Environmentalist, any one of those things, scientist, but ecosystem, like, or something with the environment, like how they all communicate with each other, like how they stay in, what's the word for that too? Shoot, I forgot. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but there's a word for it. I couldn't think of it. It's where it balance. And I know some of you are like, yeah, that's what it is, but it's like where it keeps everything in balance. And that has been shown on nature, like documentaries, probably on like National Geography or whatever that channel was called again. They have already shown that, like how even trees, they have roots and they'll communicate through like the root system, like sending signals. And there was even one that showed like a tree communicated with not a giraffe, what was it? The tree communicated with the ants that lived within the tree, because like they had like this mutual like relationship where like one protected the other, like one benefited from the other. So it wasn't like a what you would call, I guess, like a parasitic relationship. They were actually like helping each other. It was kind of like mutual. And there's another word, see, I just don't know the scientific terms. If I had it on me right now, I'd be able to tell you. And yeah, I don't always have the time to do research like that, like looking up terms ahead of time. If I'm going to talk about something next time, I will, but I know y'all have a general understanding of what I'm talking about. But anyway, you don't have to be an expert scientist to know. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna change my point on that. You don't have to be an expert scientist to know about dreams. Scientists, I don't know if they'd be really the ones to, well, yeah, they do. Anyway, but different ways. But yeah, so the tree was communicating with the ants to tell the ants, as a way to like protect the tree, its resource, to attack the giraffe, because the giraffe was eating its leaves and it didn't want all of its like natural resources just, well, be destroyed. But yeah, like the giraffe was like eating its branches, its leaves, and it communicated, sent a signal to the ants that lived, like a hive of ants that lived within the tree, to attack the giraffe. So the reason why I'm talking about that is because it relates to a dream that I had, and I feel like it connects to like how there is like communication through nature, or like how it has a spirit, if you want to see it that way. And what I will talk about first is how it relates to something that happened in waking life, just so that there can be an understanding. And I'll just give like the first portion of it. So this was like the day after I had the dream. These workers came out and I wasn't expecting it. They were even like in my backyard without even telling me. Like I didn't even have any idea they were gonna be there. No one gave me a heads up. Pretty sure they did ring the doorbell, but I don't answer the door to strangers. But anyway, just natural way to protect myself. I found out like when I looked out my back window, they were already like doing stuff to our tree, our pine tree that is in our backyard. And I was like, what the heck is going on? There was like 5, 6 of them. They had like already had these ropes, they had chainsaws, they had ladders. And our pine tree, it's really beautiful. I mean, it's just so huge. Like when you look up, you can just see all of its branches, pretty branches and pine cones. It was just full of life. I mean, it still is. So I guess you can already see where I'm going with this. But yeah, they were already about to start cutting it down. Not the whole tree, but they were going to start cutting down certain branches that were apparently creating a hazard for like the power lines. But I should have took a more closer examination, and I always thought they were close to it in a way, but not touching it, but kind of close. And we have a neighbor that's really nosy, and I know some of y'all can relate to that. Like one of those neighbors that's always like checking on like what you got going on over there, making sure that nothing you're doing is bothering them. They always have to get into your business. So yeah, there's one of those neighbors that lives really close to us. Like they always feel like they have to just manage everything in the entire neighborhood, like they're the queen of the whole area. And I knew it was them because they've already made certain complaints before, and they're always looking out at our backyard, and they've even caused trouble for other neighbors. So yeah. Anyway, so they saw me when I came outside, and they approached me, and they communicated to me that there were neighbors, not neighbor, but neighbors that were complaining. And as soon as they said that, I just see that neighbor across the other way, just looking over, like peering, like, what's gonna happen? I want to make sure like what I want to happen is gonna happen. I'm in control. And like they just kept looking over and like peering over. I was like, yeah, neighbors. But yeah, I asked them just for clarification. I didn't want to just go ahead and assume. I was like, okay, you know, are there really neighbors saying that this is a hazard? Is it creating a problem with the power lines? And they were like, yes. And like, so I didn't feel like I could do much at that point, because that was actually, I found out, their 3rd or 4th time coming out there. It wasn't their first time. So these people, if there were actually multiple people, we're just going to keep calling and calling until they finally did something. And I like to make peace, but I also love nature, and now I feel like I can't say I'm a nature person because of what happened in the end. But yeah, I mean, if it really was causing a problem, what I thought at the time, I was like, okay, I guess something has to be done, because then it's going to affect everybody. And they showed me a picture of what branches were going to be cut off. And it looked like it wasn't going to be very many. And I was like, okay, I guess that's not so bad. I was like, all right. It looked like it was just going to be a few branches. So anyway, the dream that I had the night before was there is this tree. And I was looking up and there are all these branches like shaking. And, you know, I kind of felt like I was connecting with the tree for a minute. It was just like the branches were like really blowing in the wind. And then all of a sudden, this yellow jacket comes towards me. And yeah, I do not like wasps. Like, if you know me, I do not like wasps. Everybody for themselves at that point. But this yellow jacket started following me. And it would not go away. It kept clinging to my left arm. It would not get off. And I kept trying to like brush it off. And every time I did that, it would just come back. And it was trying to sting me. And I was like really freaking out. And I was like, ah, you know. Anyway, so it ended there. Me just trying to get away from the yellow jacket. And it just kept popping up and popping up and popping up. And I've mentioned in one of my previous videos, I believe, that yellow jackets, just like general symbolism, at least like yellow jackets. Well, especially yellow jackets, but wasps just in general. For me personally, like, they represent, like, someone who's angry in my surroundings, even maybe my own anger, temper, or, like, a jealous female. It's always, like, one of those, either a jealous female, someone that's angry around me, or my own anger or temper that gets out of control. And that's usually what it ends up meaning for me. Let me know if that's something that resonates with y'all, too. Like, let me know in the comments. But anyway, so now I'm getting back to the next day. So they're getting rid of all these branches. And yeah, I find out that it was actually that they were sawing off pretty much half of the tree. The entire back of the tree was gone. So now you just see like this whole front half just like leaning forward with all these branches, and now it just looks lopsided. It's really sad, and it really made me want to cry. Like, yeah, I was really disappointed in myself too. Yeah, I didn't feel like I had the right to call myself a nature person anymore after that. And I found out the tree was mad at me. I wasn't only just disappointed in myself, the tree was also mad at me. And this is where I feel like the tree was starting to show that it was communicating with its surroundings, the environment, and that they do, at least in my belief, have a spirit. And not too long after, I was thinking in my head, like after that whole work was done, and I was like checking to see what the tree looked like, not too long after I realized what had happened, what really had happened, the loss of what the tree experienced, as soon as I was thinking in my mind, like, I wonder if that dream meant the tree was mad at me because of the yellow jacket. Like, they usually symbolize anger. I kid you not. As soon as I thought that, this yellow jacket just starts buzzing by. And I hadn't seen a yellow jacket there in a very long time. Like, we usually get those typical, like, red hornets. I guess what you would call them. They're usually, like, red looking and they have black wings. We get a lot of those around there, but hardly ever any yellow jackets. Like, I couldn't even remember the last time I'd seen one. But it was just, like, one by itself. A stray one just goes, and it was even, like, starting to come towards me as I was trying to get the water hose. I was like, oh, God. I was like, I really think I actually made the tree mad. But, yeah. So, it was kind of interesting, like, how it related or connected in real life. Like, it was trying to tell me or show me that this tree was in some way, like, communicating with its environment. It was upset, had a spirit, like, was expressing, like, how it was probably even, like, distraught over its own loss. I mean, that was a lot of tree branches the tree just had destroyed. It was really sad. And I didn't blame the tree for being mad at me at all. But that wasn't the only time I saw the yellow jacket. So remember how in the dream I kept trying to like brush that yellow jacket off my arm and it just kept coming back and coming back? Well, that also ended up happening in real life, but not in the like the exact way. Like, I didn't have one actually clinging to me or chasing me. There were a couple times I felt like one or two was like following me too much and it was bothering me, but they kept making nests. And I thought it was unusual behavior, because usually when you knock them down, they don't try to build a nest in the same spot or in the same area, but they just weren't ever getting the point. They just kept coming back, like every week, sometimes even every 3 days, we would see like a new yellow jacket nest being built, or one that's there. And I think at most, there was like 5 on one. And it was like in like this little nook in the higher part of like where the awning was, like of the patio roof. It was like in this little nook where the wind chime was. That one was like about that big. And there's only like 5 or 6 on there. But every time my mom and I would knock one down, they would just come straight back. And we were just like, this is crazy. And sometimes it wouldn't be always the same spot. It would just be like every different like corner of that roof, or every space within that roof. They tried all different spots. And we've had wasp nests before, not with yellow jackets, but we have had them before, and there were small ones. But once we would knock it down, they wouldn't come back, like, ever. But this time, they were just not backing down. It was just, yeah, it was crazy. But anyway, I don't know if the tree has forgiven me. I don't think that's something to easily forgive after you have like a lot of tree branches chopped off. But anyway, so I just thought this was an interesting one to share, like how you can have dreams about like nature communicating with you, spirits from nature, if you believe in that, communicating with you, like trying to tell you something. Like maybe it could even be, some of you might even have like dreams where a specific place in nature is calling to you and it shows up in your dream, like it's something peaceful. Maybe even a tree itself is communicating with you, and it might be trying to tell you like, hey, you need to water me more, or hey, I actually want to spend time with someone, like I want someone to like frequent my area, or just like, even like if you're a tree hugger, like give me a hug. I don't know how many of you like have that kind of dream where a tree is like telling you like, hey, I need someone to just sit here and like talk to me or hug me or something like that, just to be acknowledged. I mean, we've all seen that Pocahontas scene where the grandmother tree is talking to her. I feel like that can happen. You know, not literally like a face grows out and like talking, but like spirit wise, like if you're connected to that, like through meditation. But yeah, like, so some of us may have those kind of dreams where even plant life is communicating, like flowers, not just trees, but flowers. Grass, I don't know if that's very common. I would think that would be least common. Or bugs. I don't think a lot of us care to be communicated with by bugs. It depends on the person, I guess. But animals, especially, animals will frequent your dreams. I know a lot of times I would have dreams about my cat communicating with me. If he was having like a health issue, he would be showing me like something like pink eye. There was one time he had an infected eye and I had to take care of it, but he was showing me, he actually showed up in my dream as my daughter. Even though he's a male cat, he showed up as my daughter, like a kid. So it's just symbolism. And she had pink eye. And then I found out that my cat, not too long after I had that dream, had an infected eye. And I had to go get it taken care of. So yeah, I mean, different ways that animals can communicate to you in dreams. They may even be like, hey, I want to play fetch more. Or they might comfort you in your dream if you had a hard day, anything like that. So, and you can also connect with your kindred animal spirits. I was trying to stay away from saying the popular term because I don't know if it's true. I've heard from a friend that you're not allowed to say that anymore. I don't know. Like, it's reserved for certain people that are allowed to say that, but I don't know if that's true, but that's why I said it that way. I know y'all know what I mean, you know, but anyway, I'm saying, anyway, I guess that ends today's dream discussion, since I just keep repeating myself. But yeah, let me know what you think about this episode. I didn't mean for it to be so long. I do need to try to figure out how to just make them shorter, especially like uploading them to TikTok. It's like I can only do 10 minutes. But I know anybody who's like interested in dreams will want to stick around a little bit longer throughout the episode. But yeah, also like put in requests of what more to talk about when it comes to dreams. And if you want to even like send your dreams to have dream interpretations, I am offering free dream interpretations right now. Also free tarot readings if you're interested, and free Reiki healing sessions, but only for like a limited amount of time, like up until the end of December. So if you're interested in that, send me a DM. But anyways, thank you for being here. Berserker Lotus, signing off.